Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Dark Green Wake podcast. I'm Harry Ford.
I'm Brendan Milnes.
And I'm Paz.
And you join me at least. I don't know about anyone else in high spirits because this week I managed to quit my job finally. I can't technically... Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a huge honour. I can't probably use the name of the place I worked in case I get sued by them. So I will just say I worked for...
It was Pizza Hut.
Yes, it was certainly one of them. It was definitely in that song about fast food by the fast food
It was one
rockets.
of them. That's the
It was
clue
one
you
of them.
give. It's a fine
So
clue.
yeah, I worked for a fairly big fast food restaurant. Anyone who knows me has heard me tell people how shit it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wanted to speak a little bit just about how shit it was, really, because it was hell. And I don't use that as an understatement, or I do use that as an understatement, in fact.
Not as an overstatement, though.
Exactly, yeah. This isn't me exaggerating. This is me literally saying this was shit. So what was so bad about it? A, it has the slippiest floors in the world. That's the first thing you notice. You go in wearing your shoes that they've told you are grip. So you come in dressed like a fucking mountain climber. and you go on these floors and instantly you're about to go over arse of a tit. So you have to walk slowly. You know, if I wanted to work on floors that slippy, I would have signed up to join fucking Disney on Ice and been trained for it, but I wasn't. So instead I had to just navigate my way around. What else? They make you take a long lunch so they can pay you less. Literally.
Bastards.
Yeah, literally. I wanted a half-hour lunch break because I don't need long to eat some shit. Pretty much literally, given where I worked.
Yeah.
And they said, no, go back down, you got an hour.
How many, of their things did you eat while you were there?
I only ate
Not
one.
going to tell you what the specific
I
food
only
is.
ate one because the food is disgusting.
Really?
And I hated myself for eating it. So I had
See-
barely anything. And I've got to say, right, when I was sat there on an hour-long lunch break eating some
Hour?
shit, that, it was not...
We
it
don't
was,
even get that long in college.
Exactly. While I was sat there on my own in a little break room eating a meal, it was not a happy meal to eat. I'll be honest. It was not at all. So, what else to about? Managers, non-existent. One of them didn't really know who I was or why I was there. They sort of showed...
Oh, hi there, Harold.
They,
My name's Harry.
They just
Yes.
sort of tucked me away at the back for most of the time. So you spend 8 hours just like...
And you didn't even do anything worthwhile, did you?
No,
I say
no.
worthwhile. When I say worthwhile, I mean you
I-
didn't even serve any food. You didn't even get to touch.
No,
the food.
I didn't
You did
spit.
the
I didn't make
drinks.
eye contact with a customer. One time I was on drinks and just got to get covered in sticky shite. That was fun.
Lovely.
And I'll tell you, if you're in any fast food restaurant, don't order milkshakes because what happened is after about an hour, the decent flavoursome stuff runs out, and you're just left with some just white shit that comes out. It's basically just milk.
Ugh.
Yeah. What else did we do? One time they ran out of Diet Coke and just served regular. Literally, just
Really?
said.
Isn't that illegal?
Yes.
Because what if people
Li-
have...
literally, it's
what if
like
people
we-
with diet... Are you not going to do... You
Exactly.
should do something about that.
It's
That's
like,
crazy.
if you've got diabetes and you want a Diet Coke, fuck you. You're having a heart attack because we don't care.
I don't think
That's
that's what
awful.
happens. I think that you.
Were you having some kind of diabetic attack? Or
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever it
But
is.
so all they did just marked it as Diet Coke and put it back on the counter. So that was nice.
These people are dickheads.
That's superbly illegal.
It's evil. 0-hour contract, so you just turn up occasionally, and they might give you a night shift, which luckily I avoided
I
working.
can vouch
'Cause-
that 0-hour contracts are terrible.
0-hour
From when I
contracts are
worked in
just
kennels,
awful.
It's just terrible.
It's literally like, oh, we have nothing for you for 2 weeks, and then suddenly
I mean,
we've got shit. to-
actually, mine was probably worse than yours because
Yeah.
I had to clean out 30 dog kennels, and my boss was an absolute dick because she'd be like, "Oh, I need you to clean out all the kennels. I need you to sweep them out because we've got a visit coming so that they can look at the kennels." So I'm like, "All right, yeah, boss, yeah, I'm on it, yeah, woo." So I'd go out and I'd sweep the kennels. But the thing is, in the first kennel, there was a resident dog there, and the resident dog is they drop him off in the morning, they pick him up at the night, and then they do it the next morning because they worked all day and they had no one to look after him. So when they drop him off, so he'd be there all the time, and he was an Alaskan Malamute, and he shedded fur just like nobody's business. So that it's as soon as I'd got to maybe the third kennel, I swept the third kennel out, his would be full of fur again, and I'd work up my way all the way around. So I'm saying this is about 30 kennels that I'd be sweeping out, which takes forever. And then I'd get back and she'd be like, "Oh, have you swept the kennels out?" I'm like, yeah, I just did. I just finished now. And she's like, "If I go check it, they're all going to be swept out and there's no fur now." I'm like, well, yeah, because I've just swept them out. And she goes out and looks in the first kennel, there's just fur everywhere. She's like, nope, sweep them out again. I'm like, seriously?
Well,
So
I mean,
I was just constantly
it
like,
was such exciting work. I spent 7 hours once literally just wrapping sandwiches. Literally, put them down, fold them over once, fold it over again, tuck them in, and then slide down. 7 hours of that with like sirens going off and beeps and noises everywhere. So that was. And what else for managers? Just homophobic racists, which
It's just getting worse.
which is always nice, you know. If any of the managers are listening, I just want to say you are all twats, and I hated every second I worked with you. I just want to get out that little shout out. One of them did use the great phrase though.
Shout out to the homies.
Yep, but not the homos. They wouldn't approve of that, would they? One of them used an amazing phrase, which was while someone was trying to train me, he said, "Oh, watch out for him. Don't turn your back on him. He's gay. Oh, watch out for him." And then said, "Not that there's anything wrong with that." So implying that all gays are going to attack you if you turn around, but there's nothing wrong with gays. They just happen to be all rapists, apparently. So that's wonderful. So yeah, it was. I didn't work there long. I only worked about a month, and it really was shit. While I was working there, I was definitely not loving it. That's all I'm going to say about working for that certain fast food restaurant. I was not loving it at all. So, moving on, I've had my say.
Jesus Christ.
As you know, I was not a fan of working at this particular chain. But I'm done now, so fuck all of them. And I would like to just say my biggest apologies to anyone stuck working there. Because people say, you know...
You're going to give me free food, right, guys?
People say it's like menial, stupid work to work in like fast food restaurants. Oh, that's just what lazy idiots do, things like that.
Yeah.
It is not. Honestly, I would rather do pretty much any job than that. It is one of the worst jobs you could have, and I really do feel bad for anyone who's stuck.
What were the requirements, like grade wise, to get in there?
There's not much really. I mean, I say lucky. I wasn't lucky to get it 'cause it was shit. But I was kind of lucky because like
So
my dad knew someone who knew someone who could get me.
Okay, then. So
And
you
that's
had
a
you
lot.
had the inside track.
Yeah, that's
What
what a
is it?
lot of it is with jobs. It's pretty
Yeah.
bad, really. If you know someone,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. It's
I
easy.
was just gonna say like because everyone always jokes like, oh, you're thick, you're not gonna pass your
Yeah,
GCSEs,
you'll
you're
end up
gonna
at McDonald's.
working there. Yeah. So like I was
Or
just wondering.
KFC or Burger King
Yeah.
or pizza, basically any fast food.
Yeah. So I was saying, is it thinking there? Like,
So
that's all
yeah,
I was,
I feel bad for you. Know, wherever you work, it's gonna be shit. It don't matter what fast food restaurant
Yeah.
you're in, it's gonna be
yeah. So you just knew someone is okay.
pretty shitty. So I'll finish my rant. Thank you for allowing me to rant and get that out there.
Oh, no problem.
Because I imagine most places are gonna be that bad. Wherever you go, fast food, it's not.
I can't imagine it being.
I'd like to
different
imagine
wherever
that
you
some
go.
are better than where I worked,
You would
but
hope so, wouldn't you?
who would know?
Selling non-diet Coke to diabetics.
Awful.
Bastards.
Absolutely
He never specifically said that they marked the Diet Coke to regular Coke. Like he never said that they made the Diet Coke was regular Coke and then they specifically gave it to diabetics.
Not necessarily
He just-
diabetics,
he
but
just
definitely
said
people
that-
who
But they
wanted
could
it.
be. That's
but
the problem.
they could be, but
Okay. Well,
To
anyway.
be honest, I just feel bad for anyone who
if
got
you've ever
food
heard-
I served them because I was shit at the job.
yeah, if you've ever heard of anyone like going into a diabetic coma thanks to a fast food restaurant somewhere,
My bloody hands are all over.
yeah, you're gonna get like, you're just gonna get arrested
Yeah.
for that. It's your fault.
So yeah,
You should speak out about it. Take them to the
I'm
courts.
gonna go outside and protest.
Get loads of
Gonna
money.
write some protest songs about it. But yeah, if you work in any fast food place, you know, my props to you because I couldn't do it for long because it really is just terrible no matter where it is you work
It
in.
sounds pretty horrendous.
But you just like rang up and said, oh, I'm not coming in, didn't you? That's how you like left.
Pretty much, yeah.
If it had
I
been
went in.
me-
This was how grand my time was working at this place. My when I handed in my notice, it was literally like, oh, what's the matter? You're just not coming in anymore. No, okay, see ya. And that was it. 30 seconds. That was It was a fitting end to a shitty time.
I'd have just been grabbed like loads of food like from the back, and I'd just walked in, like jumped over the counter, and then just be like, fuck you all, and then just left.
I kind of wanted to do make some huge scene, but sadly.
Yeah,
just
I'd
couldn't.
love to make a huge scene, like if I was leaving somewhere that I hated.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't complain anymore. I've got myself something decent. So yeah, my props to anyone stuck there. And now, shall we move on to kind of
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So,
Let's move on to the next topic where
Yeah.
Pos still has nothing to say.
we've got Broadchurch, which Brandon, you said you'd watch.
I've
final
now
episode.
watched
Have you
it,
seen
yes.
So why don't you?
I'm on the wrong page.
You
to
give me
talk
your
about
thoughts
that.
about sort of the series, and then I'll say
The
my
whole
thoughts.
series.
Yeah, just all of it really, start to end. We'll
Okay.
try not to spoil too much. Spoilers, you've not seen it. I don't know if you ever will.
I don't know. I'm hearing bad things.
Spoilers,
the whole-
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, the whole series, like the whole series 2.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole series 2, like, I liked it, kind of because it was one of those, like, series that came and it was just like a big fuck you too kind of thing, because it's like you thought it was all wrapped up season 1 where, like, that was it was end of. And then they come back and they're all like, oh, JK, he's going to say this, and like, yeah. Okay, boss, let me just put this out here. Can I spoil it for you? If I say
I
something,
just don't
you don't
give
care.
a shit
Right, okay.
anymore.
So when
Go
I
for it.
forgot his name, Joe. When
Joe.
Joe's like, "Oh, not guilty," it's kind of like a big fuck you. You know, like you thought that it was all going to just go down. But like my thoughts when it first started, I'm like, well, they can't really make a full series out of it if he says, "Oh, yeah, I'm guilty," and then it's like, "All right, yeah, okay, now go to prison." They couldn't really make a series out of that, and I still didn't really see how they'd make a series out of that. But then they brought in the other killings with the girls and everything, which I kind of enjoyed. I kind of like. And David Tennant's like acting in that. I really like David Tennant's role in that, which is kind of like why I stuck with it a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I think. a
And I
lot of people
love
would
like his relationship with.
say. Ellie.
That's it. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
like their relationship together. I think that they're so like funny.
It's Ellie Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Yeah, fair enough. I think she won a BAFTA for the third
I know
series,
she did. She should've
She
done.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was talking about that on the Graham Norton
which
show.
was fairly deserved. I
So
thought.
do you want to talk about? Well, I watched the last 2 episodes because it turns out I didn't watch the last 2 episodes,
Right.
not the finale. So do you want to talk about the last 2 episodes? Because I think
I
that we
can't
vary.
remember. I can't remember the second to last. I can certainly remember the last episode and my thoughts on it. So the last episode, I was hoping, because I'll be honest, I hated the second series. Loved first series for good, one of the first really good British dramas in ages. Because now it's all American. Let's face it. The main sort of TV in the world that everyone respects, like Breaking Bad or The
Yeah.
Wire, Sopranos, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
And I thought Broadchurch first series up there. I don't know if it was particularly the best ever, but certainly great, no problems with
Yeah.
it. Second series, I liked the first episode. Thought intriguing, sets you up completely, flips it on its head. What's going to happen now. And then for me, it went downhill so quickly for so many reasons. I felt like David Tennant and Olivia Colman still have chemistry, but I just didn't. I cared less about the chemistry
Yeah.
now because they always felt like they were doing the same thing. It felt like David Tennant just same miserable Scottish character, but now he didn't have kind of positive Olivia Colman. She was miserable as well. And spending that much time with 2 really depressed characters can be a drag, and it's like about 8 episodes, I think, this series.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the main problem for me was the Lee Ashby and Claire storyline, because Lee Ashby I thought was one of the most overplayed, ridiculous characters.
Yeah.
He's in it all the time, just standing in the background. I said, I hope he's just in the background of every scene, just lurking somewhere. A little Easter egg for the fans.
Where's Waller?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Ashby this time?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it got it's so overdone.
I don't
him
know
standing.
if it's Ellie and what's his name, Alec.
Alec,
They got really tediously boring kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they were just both miserable. But there's the barristers that I can't remember both of their
Oh
names.
yeah,
I like their rivalry, and that kind of lifted it up. A
Oh,
little
see,
bit
for me, for those even more than Lee Ashby, I thought the Lee Ashby Claire stuff was pretty dull, but the courtroom scenes were just so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they were just so boring. But
And especially towards the end, their final closing statement for the Joe Miller case is basically, if you think someone else did it, and we're going to say it was this guy who killed a child, then say he's not guilty. And it's like, no, that's not how court cases work.
No.
Focus on the case, woman.
Yeah.
Which they never did. So you've got
I think my favourite thing out of the whole series 2 was when what's her name? I can't think of her name. The defence is you've got the barrister that and then you've got-
the woman with her.
yeah, the kind of the underling.
Yeah.
When she goes home with the journalist.
Yeah,
guy,
I know what you're on
and
about.
it's she just stood in the kitchen and the Ellie's sister just walks in and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm shagging your son." And
Yeah,
she-
that was a
and then
weird
she
scene for me.
She just
That
kind
was
of walks
so
away and she's like, "Fucking
awkward.
lawyers,
So-
get her out of my house!" I thought that was my
No, I
favourite scene.
hated the barristers because they were boring and irritating. The worst
I quite liked
combination.
their
ever.
rivalry.
I think Jocelyn was the older woman, wasn't it? Who
Jocelyn,
was
that's
going
it, yeah.
blind
Yeah.
and turned out to be a lesbian. Big
Yeah.
twist towards the
Yeah.
end. That's what we needed. That's what
Yeah, I
the
was
show
wa-
needed to kick it into gear. An
I was
old
watching it. I was
lesbian
just sat there
romance.
watching it, and I had my notebook out, and I'm like writing stuff down, like little notes and everything. And when it got to that part where like she would say like that reveal, my mum was just like, "What? Listen!" And I watched it, and I was like, "Great."
Yeah,
And I just carried
it
on
was-
writing notes
It
down.
was
like,
so
it-
utterly pointless.
That was so pointless that it hasn't even made it into my notes.
And yeah, but the defence barrister, I can't remember the actress. I know she's been in quite a lot. She's in the
Yeah.
RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
I randomly
Yeah.
discovered. I just found her character unbearable. She was just so loud and
Yeah.
obnoxious constantly.
And what's the whole thing with her son? Like I understand.
Yeah, and
kinda it's
Jocelyn
because
didn't
Jocelyn
defend
didn't.
him. Or
Yeah,
something like,
but it's like
it was
he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need a character.
It was very dull. But yeah, no, the last episode, I was really hoping the last episode would sort of kick it up a notch and at least end on a positive. But for me, it was like
I quite liked the ending.
Joe Miller not guilty. Yeah, great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, understand that.
But who did it?
Yeah, and then not only is he not guilty, then you had like the Lee Ashby stuff, which was kind of okay.
I quite enjoyed like
The
watching
stuff
that
about the
reveal.
girl.
I've got some notes. here
Even
for
though
that
what's his name, Ricky Gillespie was his name.
Yeah.
Or Bobby Ricky.
bit. Ricky Gillespie.
Ricky
Yeah.
Gillespie.
I'm just gonna
the
read
guy
through
who
these
plays
notes
him
here.
is like, if you need an angry northerner in your program, he's the actor you go to. He's in everything as miserable northerner, and his character was okay. And I thought that ending was decent, where Lee Ashby was actually good, even though it's like he
Yeah,
spent the
that
whole
was really
series
weird,
being the
like-
biggest villain
Yeah,
ever,
and then it's just
lurking,
kinda like, oh,
smirking,
he's
doing everything.
good.
And then he's
Yeah.
like, he's actually just quite a nice fella.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why is he a dick then? So that was
That's in here. That is right there. It's right there.
Lee's a dick, yeah.
Because when I was watching it, I was just making quick notes because it's like when the guy that's in love with Lisa.
The stalker.
Yeah, the
guy,
stalker guy. Yeah, when he's just outside and like Lee goes out and punches him. I just wrote Lee's a dick to people in love.
Yeah.
And then like Ricky's a dick to people having sex because he walks in.
comes in, finds him having sex, and grabs his daughter. Was it his daughter?
No,
Or
that's
is it
his
neighbour?
niece or
His
something
niece.
like that.
He's just like, "What are you doing, shaking my collar?" And accidentally like smacks her head on the floor.
He
And
bangs
it's
her
like,
head repeatedly on the
You
floor.
nut job. Why did you do that?
That sounds weird.
I was trying not to laugh. It was funny,
Yeah.
but that bit was alright. But Joe Miller at the end, they all confront him in a church, but the Reverend is like
I
tells
felt
everyone.
sorry for him there.
Yeah,
Like how he's just
the-
kind of
the
he's like
Reverend-
asleep and like he like the Reverend just fucks off and like what's his name? I'm terrible with characters' names.
Mark. The
Yeah,
dad.
Mark and like his mate like just come in and they just grab him and he's like clawing at the pew
the
trying to get
Reverend
away.
for one person
It's
he
like-
could go to.
I felt
sells
really
him out.
sorry for him. Like he's been found not guilty for fuck's sake. Like
Yeah, and then,
do you know what I mean? Like I still don't know if he's done it or not.
no,
'cause
I'm not sure. Well, and then they like take him out, and that's okay. They basically say just leave. They banish him. They practically like tie him to a horse and send him
I'm
away.
glad that they've done that though because I like when they got to like that like country house thing and like they
Yeah.
went in and like everyone were in there and I was like and she's like, oh, there's 37 knives in here, I've counted them. It's just like you can't kill him. If you kill him, then that's just horrible. Like
Yeah.
I understand that that you think he's killed your son and you want to get your revenge, but you can't kill him. That's just
Yeah.
bullshit. Like that's horrible. I feel sorry for him. And then they banish him, which I'm kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, the
that's
problem is,
okay,
when they
whatever.
banish him, they send him off in like a taxi, and there's like all the townsfolk come to watch.
I know.
What it was just like when the real Principal Skinner comes back in Simpsons, and then they tie him to a train, and all the people wave him off. As he's there. That's exactly what it was like when he was in a taxi this time. It was just as bad as the first series. You know, it ended where they lit up all the beacons, and it was the most cliche Avatar Dances with Wolves bollocks that's ever been featured in an ITV drama. They literally, it's like, we all need to get over Danny's death. Let's light up some torches and hold them in the air. And it was,
Me and my mum, like, because it got about halfway through the second
Yeah.
series, and this like through the second series when we were watching it, it was when the conspiracy with like EastEnders were like all coming out where
Yeah.
it was like who killed Lucy and
turned out to be
everything.
a little brother.
Yeah, which
Which
is
was
just
stupid.
ridiculous. But like me and my mum, like, because we were so bored of like the shit that was going on in like Broadchurch, we made like this conspiracy. It was like I said that like Lisa killed Pippa. And then like she's like she fled to like fled to like London and she was in EastEnders and like Lucy figured out who she was so she then killed Lucy and then left EastEnders.
Little
That was
crossover.
my theory.
But the whole thing with Pippa was weird as well. She killed because they gave her like didn't they give her like Rohypnol or something?
Yeah,
She
but that was just to
overdosed
knock.
on it.
No, that was just to knock her out, just a thingy. But like, it's because she heard like Lee and Lisa like having sex, and like, so
Yeah.
she knew what happened.
That's
But
weird.
it's because like Ricky had killed like the Lisa, and then he was blaming it on Lee. And then like Claire was just kind of like, no, fuck that. That's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
So then they killed his daughter, and then hid his flask that had the Rohypnol in like the woods, so that like they had double security.
Yeah.
Because like if Ricky ever like said up to the police about them, then they'd like tell him where the flask was, and it would show that
Yeah.
it was him that killed her. So
Yeah, the whole Lee Claire thing's just bad. He like practically raped her and abused her, and then suddenly they're in love again.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's trying to like kill her in the sea. Oh,
Yeah, that
we're
was-
in
that
love
was
again.
really funny.
Sounds as messed up as
It's-
Gone Girl, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it
like
was.
that.
It wasn't good. It was not. You know,
And then right at the
feminists
end-
watching wouldn't approve
right
it.
at the end, it's just like Alex getting into like the back of a taxi, and it's like, where to, sir? And then he's just kind of stood there like, I'm not gonna leave, and it's like, join us for series 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
I was annoyed.
Where
this
you gonna
series
go
three.
with series 3? How are you gonna get to series 3?
We better wrap up Broadchurch. So I was not a fan at all. You didn't mind it, I suppose.
I kind of enjoyed the ending with Joe because I didn't want them to kill him, and I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think he did it.
It was his son, I reckon. His son's shifty looking.
Yeah, his son's a prick.
yeah.
I love that bit where Ellie's just kind of shouting at him in the court.
Yeah.
That and
That was
he just
brilliant.
kind of shits himself. He's just kind of like, I'm
So
sorry,
yeah,
man.
it was like some decent acting, some ridiculous
Yeah.
acting. Courtroom scenes not great, but not. I really didn't enjoy it. You didn't think it was that bad. So
Yeah.
that's fair enough. That's about the reaction. No one's been too overjoyed. Quite a lot of people hated it. Most people was quite indifferent. So moving on for Broadchurch then. Pause. You have just started House of Cards. How far in are you now?
Enlighten
I'm
me.
6 episodes in, so do you not really know what House
No,
of Cards is?
I really want to watch House
so
of
do I. I've
Cards.
been told it's good.
Yeah.
House
so
of
enlighten
Cards,
me.
I'll start off by saying I've fallen in love with it immediately, and I think a lot of that has to do with Kevin
And
Spacey.
Pos doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, no, he doesn't, apparently. Well, basically, Kevin Spacey plays a man called Frank Underwood, and he's a congressman in America, and he has the title of Majority Whip, which basically is the job of getting people to vote for a certain person, so like an
So
education.
like a spin doctor of the UK.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing,
Right.
actually. Yeah, it gets people within the house to vote for people.
Yeah.
As in like who's in charge of education, transport, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's him being denied. It starts off with him being denied a promotion to Secretary of State, which he's worked really, really hard for and got in close with the new president and everything
Right.
for. And then they just tell him they're not going to go with him.
Sounds a
And
little bit like American Beauty.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. And then it's basically him hatching this absolutely genius, elaborate plan to try and wipe out everyone else because there's so much competition for it. Because it's a big job with big pay, and if you've made it if you get to that sort of level. And him and his wife start sort of scheming with each other because his wife is sort of the same sort of character, and you can tell they work together perfectly. They're brilliant together, and they start moving along, taking people out cleverly, quite evilly actually, in corrupt ways. And he gets himself involved in the media by getting in contact with a local journalist, a small-time journalist looking to become a big deal. So he manipulates her, makes her a big deal, and it's brilliant. Kevin Spacey in it is stunning,
Yeah,
absolutely stunning.
You come to expect it from Spacey, don't you? He hasn't done much filming recently.
Yeah,
but
which is-
in the 90s he was pretty much untoppable.
Oh yeah,
Between sort of American Beauty, Usual Suspects, and Seven.
yeah.
American Beauty.
He's
that
the
film.
character Frank Underwood that he plays is so cool as well. He's like this soft-spoken Texan, and he's the coolest voice and coolest little things that he does. There's bits in the show where he turns to the camera and speaks directly to the audience, and that sounds sort of dodgy, but it works with his character the way he is. And it's the stuff he says, cool little things to the camera, and then goes into the scene. And every now and again he'll look over to the camera and sort of motion at you as though to say, "Told you." He's cool, and I love the show so far at least. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm only 6 in, but I'm quite taken with it already. So it shows how good it is.
Taken 4?
No, not Taken 4. No more Taken, please. Yeah, so that's
No, it does sound good. I've heard a lot of good things. It's one of the things I imagine once I start it, I'll really get into it. I just
Yeah.
find it difficult.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be quite. Is it quite sort of
It was
wordy and taxing
it's
to watch?
wordy.
Do you have to really kind of?
You have to concentrate.
Yeah.
It's not
Right,
it's
okay.
not a show about action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. But it is so well written and so well performed by Kevin Spacey and Kate Mara and other people, and that it just works. It really does. I'm enjoying it hugely.
All right, so that sounds pretty cool. Then I might have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll definitely have a look at that.
So just to end, then we'll do what we said we're occasionally going to do. Has anyone seen any sort of decent films recently? Pause. What have you seen recently?
Well, yesterday I actually rewatched The Great Escape, which is a film that really I have liked for a long time. I got shown it originally by my grandma and granddad when I was like, oh god, like 5 years old or something.
Yeah,
So
see, I was the same with my dad's. My dad's
Yeah.
favourite film. Yeah.
I've been brought up on that film. To go watch it again for the first time in about 10 years probably was quite nice, actually. It is a good film, though. Like, I've forgotten that it is, as well as being something that you sort of introduced to at a young age, it is as well a good film. And I like Steve McQueen as well. I'm a fan of, I like his films that he did get to do before he died.
12 Years a Slave that he directed. Tish. Moving on.
No, I do like Steve McQueen's films, and I think The Great Escape is probably my favourite one. I enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah, no, I probably should watch it again. As I said, it has been years since I was first kind of shown it. Brandon, you've been watching a lot of shit recently from the looks
Oh
of it.
yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
And now the fun
So
begins.
let me just clarify that, like, my nan, she pays extra money to like get all of the like movie channels like on Virgin Media,
Yeah.
and I was looking after her house over the weekend while she was away. And literally, when I'm there, I just sit there and I watch like loads of different films, like all the different channels that she's got. So I watched Monsters University, which
Right.
is actually pretty good.
I mean,
I haven't seen it.
Cause
to be fair.
I grew up with Monsters Inc. and like I was just I didn't want to watch it because I'm like, it's kind of like a kids thing.
yeah.
But I saw it on and I'm like, oh, do you know what? It's there, so I'll watch it. I might as well. And I actually quite enjoyed it.
See, like, I remember the days, I think around Toy Story 3, I used to think Pixar sort of untouchable. They'll just make good films, that's it. But recently, I've just not been as interested. There's like Cars 2, which I just had no interest in.
I
Planes.
saw that on like
Planes,
Boxing Day
yeah,
at my
the
uncle's
spin-off.
house.
There
and
was,
it was shocking.
Brave, which I, again, just
Don't
didn't
care about.
interest me.
No.
And then Monsters University, it's like...
Yeah, you
I
should
was-
definitely watch Monsters
I was
University.
worried about
It's
it
really
because of
good.
how much I love Monsters, Inc. Really.
Yeah, I really liked Monsters University.
Yeah, so I might have to watch that then.
Then for some reason there must have been like a Fast and Furious like fest on or something like that.
God.
Because I watched Fast and Furious, the Fast and the Furious
Three
Tokyo
Fast,
Drift.
3 Furious.
Yeah, and the Fast and the Furious 6. Like for some reason, like 4 and 5 are missing, but I don't really care about them. Let's never speak about them. Ever.
I have such a passionate hatred for those films.
I quite
can
like
barely
them
remember 'em.
because
I'd say
I
it
was
is.
I was also brought up with them. Like I was brought up with Fast and the Furious and Too Fast Too Furious. Like them two of them two films I was brought up with.
Is Too Fast, Too Furious for one. The only bit I remember from any of the films is when a guy's a rat in a bucket and
Yep,
like puts
that's
it
Too
on a
Fast, Too
guy and gets
Furious.
like... Yeah, see,
Yeah.
for some reason that's the only bit I remember of any of them.
Yeah. And then I've also watched I, Frankenstein,
Wow.
which is terrible. It's like the worst film in the world. But there's a reference in there that is just, it's so like on the nose. Because the actor that plays, I think his name's Gideon, who's like the head like gargoyle. Yeah, I said gargoyle in Frankenstein.
Yep.
There's a war going on between gargoyles and demons,
Well, this sounds
in
utterly
Frankenstein,
appalling.
right? But like the head army dude, like the general of like the gargoyles,
Yeah.
called Gideon, the actor that plays him plays like this angel in a film called Legion. Do you remember I was showing you it in CEX the other day?
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
know of Legion. I
Yeah,
think.
well, you know the guy that plays like the angel in that. Well,
Paul Bettany.
I think
Paul
that's-
Bettany's the main guy in Legion.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it. Well, like there's a reference in that, and it's just basically like it's like the head like gargoyle is a woman, and she's like, this is what something like Gabriel sent us here, this and that, and blah blah blah. But it's kind of like he plays like someone that fights with Gabriel in Legion. Is like Gabriel sent legions of thingy. It's just like it's a reference that's so on the nose, like. Oh, look at this guy. He's in this film. He was also in this film, what we will directly mention. It's terrible. But I've also watched Brick Mansions, which is an alright
What
film.
is Brick Mansions? I've never heard of
Is
that.
it Paul? It was Paul Walker's last film.
Yeah, it's the last.
that.
It's the last film
Yeah.
that he ever made.
Is it a remake of District 13? The
No.
one where... Because
don't
he
think
was
so.
definitely in one film, but it was a remake of District 13, which is a really...
Actually, I think it might be.
It's like a lot of free running, and he's in like
Yeah.
a block.
Yeah.
District 13 is a really, really bad film. Which
Now
is
that's a
horribly
really
dubbed
bad
in
film
English.
because but it's also good.
Right.
It-
Is it good, bad?
Yeah, well, no, it's bad good. It's
Oh,
so
dear.
bad that it's good.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Good, bad, bad. Good.
Yeah, but
yeah.
good,
Like,
bad is
are we
it's a good
talking
film, but
like
it's
so
bad
bad that
thing.
it's good, like Sharknado?
No, no, no,
Or it's
it's-
so bad that it's
it's-
a genius
just-
bit of comedy almost.
It's bad, but because you
I know
know
what you mean. It's
what's
like
supposed
it's
to happen.
enjoyable rubbish,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like the sort of shit that you're never going to call your favourite film. It entertains
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I Frankenstein is absolute shite, but Brick
Yeah.
Mansions is good shit.
There's different levels in there. There's just boring films and just no one cares about
Yeah.
them. There's so bad it's good, like The Room, Sharknado, and then there's a kind of enjoyably rubbish
Yeah.
film.
Stuff like Taken would be that, wouldn't it? Really, it's enjoyable, but it's
Exactly.
not good.
Yeah. I also watched Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2.
Right. I own Bad Boys 2, for some reason I've owned it about 4 years and never bothered to watch it because it's about
I
2.5
am not
hours long.
surprised.
Yeah, I still watched it. It's quite good. I quite enjoy it. But I also said that I was going to watch like all the blockbustery stuff, didn't I? And I was going to like report
Yeah.
back to you and tell you what they were. Well, I've only just watched Focus, which is really good. But it's going back to the thing of that it's good, but it's good shit. It's like
Yeah.
it's just good enough to kind of,
Brainless sort of entertainment.
yeah, because it's really boring and it's really like long in parts, but it's like the plot turns out pretty well, but it was kind of predictable. Like I kind of saw it coming
Yeah.
because there's like a part in it. Like, are you ever gonna watch it?
I don't think so.
Well, there's like a bit in it
Don't
where
spoil it too much, though.
yeah,
just in case.
I was just like it keeps mentioning like his dad constantly, and it's just like it kind of just tips you off to what's gonna happen
Yeah.
because he wouldn't mention his dad if it wasn't gonna happen. But I'm not gonna.
The big question is, does Margot Robbie get naked again?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, well, I'm not watching it. Stop that.
But she's confused a lot.
You join us on the Feminists Hour.
Yes. I'm just gonna go watch The Wolf of Wall Street again.
I also watched The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, which is so long.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about it.
That's-
I watched Silent Hill,
Oh, we
which
have
is
a
one of my
poster.
all-time
So
favourite
long.
films.
It's really Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I would put it at least bottom 10 worst films I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
but I love like the zombie films. Like I love Resident Evil.
I
because
like
was-
zombie films.
I was like,
Silent Hill's bollocks. Silent
yeah,
Hill is
but
just a
I was
pile of
like,
bollocks.
I always come from like the game side of it. Like I've played all the Silent Hill games.
Yeah,
I've
but
played like all the Resident
I
Evil
think
games.
Silent Hill's actually a good example of why games don't really work as films. 'Cause if you're playing a game and
Yeah.
a big man with a pyramid head's running after you, it's
That shit's
scary
scary.
because he might kill you. Whereas in the film, I know the main woman's not going to die, so they need to find something scary.
Yeah, but
in
Pyramid
it.
Head's not in Silent Hill that much. He's in
Yeah,
it for
but
like one
when he's
scene.
in it, it's just a bit naff, and his big sword, not a euphemism.
Don't.
And I also watched
I didn't even
Exodus.
deserve
I
it.
also watched Exodus, God and Kings, or Gods and Kings.
That looked
and
a bit rubbish, I thought.
It's really good.
Right.
You should definitely watch it. It's really good. Like it depends on like what you take is like on like the way that like it's filmed.
I
and the
do
way
like
that,
some
the
Ridley
special
Scott
effects.
films, so
Yeah, some of the
I've
special
probably-
effects are kind of like it kind of goes over the top, and like but it's a bit like it's once again it's enjoyable crap,
Right.
but it's teetering on the edge of a good film.
All right.
is Aaron Paul in that film?
Yes, Aaron Paul is in
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I was watching that and I was about an hour in, and Aaron Paul was there with a big scraggly beard and all his hair dripped over his face, and I'm like, is that
Jesse.
Aaron Paul? And then
Jesse.
and he's got like this really gruff, deep voice, and I'm like, is that Aaron Paul? And then it's like a shot like nearer the end of the film where it's just like on his face, and I'm like, that is Aaron Paul.
Oh my
It's
god!
it's like all the way through. It's kind of like, is it? Is it? And then it's kind of like,
Pyramids,
yes.
bitch.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk quickly about a film I watched for the second time, Fish Tank. It is quite a low-budget British film about sort of Essex girl living in a really shitty council estate, sort of no hope, no future, and then her mum, who's pretty neglectful, doesn't really care, brings home a new boyfriend, played by Michael Fassbender, and this was about 2009. So
Yeah.
this was pre-Inglourious Bastards, post-Hunger, so he's kind of known, but he wasn't hugely famous. First time I watched it, hated it because I thought it was misery porn. Basically, I thought it was just, like the sort of British films where it's just like, look how grim everything is.
Yeah.
Council state, no hopes, everyone swears, everyone's horrible, and I hated it. I just found it miserable, depressing, didn't enjoy it at all. Second time, I reckon it's a masterpiece. When I usually make a list each year, best films, try and rank them.
Yeah.
First time I watched it, 2009, it was number 50 on the list, about 70. It's now moved up to number 4. So that, which is the
Wow.
biggest leap of any film I've ever seen. It's incredible. It is grim and it's very depressing. The main girl in it is played by a girl called Katie Jarvis, who was seen arguing outside a train station with a boyfriend, got hired because of that. So she's not an actress, she's got hired because she kind of fit, and she hasn't done anything since.
Huh.
And she's really incredible for a non-actress. I mean, it's a difficult role. It's not a very pleasant role at all.
No.
And Michael Fassbender, you know, he's in my top 5 actors anyway. Love him.
I am a fan of Michael.
I don't think I've seen
Fassbender.
him do anything bad, but this
No.
is an incredibly different performance and it's just an incredible role because he manages to play someone who believably could be quite sleazy and work like a shit job
Yeah.
and hang around with a fairly sort of poor lower class family, even though it's Michael Fassbender now, you know, like the sexiest man alive kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he manages to pull it off. And it's this really sort of difficult, confusing story where he sort of becomes like a father figure to her and she doesn't have one. He's the only one who's nice to her and like nurtures her talent because she's like dances in empty flats.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
goes
yeah.
in. And he's the only one who encourages her where everyone else kind of mocks her. But then it starts to become into this almost sort of paedophilic thing where he kind of crosses the line of what's normal really. And there's like, you don't expect sort of a twist really with films like that. You expect them to be pretty straightforward story.
Yeah.
But there's an almost twist to it towards the end, which the first time you just don't see coming at all, and it's a real shocker. And the first time I thought this is just too much. This is so grim and unpleasant. But the second time, as I say, it works so well, and it's because of his role where he's really charismatic and nice, but it just tips over into creepy, and you're always unsure of him. And I cannot recommend the film enough. It's tough. It's tough to watch, and you could easily hate it and find it to be misery porn.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of films like Precious and My Sister's Keeper wallow in misery. And this film does. It borders on that. But I think ultimately it's just incredible, and first time it just depressed me. Second time I found it sad and really moving. And the
Yeah.
acting's great. It's shot beautifully. Great story. Just really one of the best British films of the last sort of 5 years at least. Definitely.
I'm definitely going to give that a watch then.
Yeah.
It still sounds very good then, the way you're putting it across to me.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was amazed because I only watched it because, I hated this the first time. Maybe it's improved, and I like Michael Fassbender more. And I was just blown away by how good it was and how wrong I was about it the first time. So yeah, I happily admit completely wrong about it the first time.
Even
It's a
Harry
masterpiece.
Ford is wrong sometimes.
Yeah, when it comes to films, sometimes I do get it wrong. So Brandon,
Are we
it's
ready?
that-
Are
it's
we
that
ready for
time
this
again.
thing? Are we ready?
Oh dear. What's
Right.
that now?
Okay. Well. Okay. So.
Okay. Sorry. Go on.
So when I've been doing this, I've been thinking about things that I've been flicking through, and I've been looking at for things that kind of relate to something that I've done earlier in the day or something like that. And this one relates to something that me and my mum were doing earlier today because we were just personifying the thing that we usually do everyone does on the internet, looking at cat videos, and that's what me and my mum were doing this morning. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I know. So this quote is, "I was thinking of a plan to dye one's whiskers green."
Who said that?
Lewis Carroll.
That makes sense, Lewis Carroll, because he was a nutter.
Fair enough then.
He was mental. Cheers for that. I haven't learned anything, but I enjoyed it anyway.
That's a neat way to.
Oh, should I end the episode on a joke?
Go on then.
It's a bad
Oh.
joke.
Oh dear.
Came up with a film idea, right? It's where this retired CIA agent, his daughter gets kidnapped, and he has to go searching for her. But I found out that idea was taken.
Oh!
And on that note,
Arrivederci.
and on that bombshell.
All right. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye, arrivederci. The word that I was going to say, but I forgot about it. Right, bye.